of the internet. What's good on this side? What's cracking? Let's see if we can get this functional at the beginning and not be so bright and shiny in my face. And why is this not showing up? Because why would it? Why would it? There we go. All right, it's live there. It's live there. That's live there. Let's hopefully make this function properly. Pop the chat out. And pop the chat out. And that should be okay. And let's see if this works here. Not top chat, live chats. Okay, what's good, internet? We are T-minus 30 minutes from the debut of the WWE pay-per-views on the Peacock back there. And hopefully it all functions properly. Here in the chat, we got Last Shot, we got Endingo, Messiah, Senio, Frederica, Jay Witten. What's cracking? What's good? Here to talk some wrestling a half an hour before the wrestling kicks off here. And, you know, how that goes. D. Young in the building. Nathan's here. West Virginia. Trey Jonas, Alexander wants to know, am I still friends with Grimm? Of course, we film every week. We're filming on Tuesday. And hopefully, as per the publisher, Retromania is getting released on Xbox this Tuesday. So hopefully, we're going to film that game on Tuesday. We're still here every week. Even if YouTube doesn't tell you we're uploading pixels, I can assure you we're here every week. We're doing videos, me and him, every week. And hopefully soon get this goddamn vaccine and then get Rod and Todd back into the mix. That's the plan. And Doo-Hop. But, you know, we'll see how that goes. Again, it's kind of a mess here in 2021, as you might think it might be. What's going on, Alexander? Am I thinking the Fiend is returning? I mean, my guess is Bray Wyatt in some form is returning, but they want to sell all new merchandise for Bray Wyatt. So he's changed up whatever it is he's doing, and he's done another reinvention of whatever he's going to do. So will it be the Fiend in particular? I don't know. But if he was smart, and that dude's pretty smart, I would imagine that it's going to look different. It's going to be different to sell more merchandise, because, you know, that's half wrestling there, is selling merchandise. This is behind me. This is the Peacock app. So it is not the network app, because that is the debut this evening. I have no idea if Strowman and Shane is happening tonight or not, because they definitely mentioned it on Friday. So on SmackDown, which was just this past Friday, but the network, or not the network, the website does not mention that match at all. So that's a little bit weird. And yes, I am definitely looking forward to seeing how this network handles a WWE show, because right now they're airing The Bump, and it's been fine. And obviously they're going to start airing the pre-show here in about a half an hour, and we'll see how that goes. But as far as how it's going to handle the show itself, how it's going to handle WrestleMania, that's going to be interesting at 5. Actually, no. Well, all right, here's the thing. Here's what I think. Right? Tonight should be okay. Only because if it starts to fuck up, the actual network is still there to back you up. WrestleMania is exclusive on Peacock, and they're for the US, April 4th, they shut down the network in the US. So at that point, when you have no other alternative besides Peacock or piracy, like, we'll see how it handles things. What's going on, Bryce Power? There will definitely be more Wrestling Empire videos at some point this year. Don't you worry, that game is continually being updated, so there's more content to come. But I don't have a date on that just yet. I kind of just do whatever. And if I can finally get to Retromania, even if that game has a cliffhanger ending in their story mode currently. Like, you know, shit's weird out there. The internet, wrestling. Alan, no. Constant commenter is in here. Thumbs up. Who's winning between Roman and Daniel Bryan? Come on now. When you book your Mania main events, that's pretty assuredly going to be Roman and Edge. Like, sure, they could sneak D-Bry in there somehow, but the thing with D-Bry, and, you know, what's happening with him right now, is not as significant as, say, when it happened years ago, because there's no crowds to complain about it. Only at Mania, we're going to have a crowd. So, if the crowds can't hijack the show with the yes, 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 then they're going to do what they keep doing and piping in the cheers and piping in the boos for who they want you to cheer and who they want you to boo, because it don't matter to them, because they control the narrative. So personally, I'm looking forward to having an actual live crowd WrestleMania, to have actual fans voicing their actual opinions during a live show. Now, I don't want to see the return of the what chant, because that's kind of really played out. But besides that, give me a crowd to cheer and to boo and to chant legitimately, "This is awesome," or "Holy shit," or whatever. Like, I want legit chants. Seriously. Like, I'm tired of the piped in, you know, yes, yes, yes. I don't want that. Like, I want to feel that crowd reaction, even if it's only 25,000 in that big ass stadium. I think the D-Bry Hall of Fame thing was a glitch. Like, that's not legit. Not legit. But again, their website and their whole thing here with the going to Peacock, it's all kind of a mess. Like, as someone who's done stuff on computers on a back end like scenario, I can understand how things kind of get fucked up that way. I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's weird they're keeping Lashley off the show, unless Lashley's only there to interfere in the Drew and Sheamus match. Because, I mean, why wouldn't he? I don't know. Yes, it is currently very difficult to get things like PS5s and to get things like Xbox Series X's, and any kind of video card is just the bots and the scalpers, and it's been a fucking mess. Personally, I need an AMD Ryzen 5800X CPU, and that's been on and off spotty on finding one in stock for retail. You can find it, obviously, for a high price, but you want to buy it at retail, it's fucking impossible. Impossible. But, you know, that's a lot of shortages here. Pandemic and all that shit. But again, I'm waiting on my goddamn stimulus check. I haven't gotten it yet, so I ain't buying shit. Like, don't assume to get anything, right? It's smarter to wait until you actually get it and then you spend it. And simulate. Do I think AJ and Omos have a chance at Mania? I mean, if you're debuting a 7-foot-tall dude at WrestleMania, to have him lose, I don't think you do that. I don't think that'd be a smart move. So, I don't know. Am I going to Mania? No. No, I'm not. Oh, there's my TV. Don't go into... it's background, man. Come on now. It's background. So, no, I will be here watching Mania on Peacock if it actually works properly. We'll see. We'll see. But no, I'm not going. Grim's going. And so we're filming videos ahead of time so that when he gets back from the Mad Max wasteland that is Florida, he can quarantine for 2 weeks. I ain't seeing him for 2 weeks. We're going to film videos ahead of time because I'm not risking my permanent lung damage for some bullshit. So he can have fun. Do that. But I'll be here. I'll be here. What else we got here? Have they announced the main event of Night 1 and Night 2? I've seen that they announced the main event for Takeover Night 1 and 2, but I hadn't seen if they announced what is actually closing the show for Mania. I haven't seen that information out there. But again, those things can change between now and the actual day of the show. So, you know, there's that. There's that. Thoughts on a leg slapping? If you can hide it well, but by all means. But if you are very blatant and you can see it on camera, and that's a lot of that, like, you think back in the day with any kind of that leg slapping, the show wasn't in HD. It was on a 4:3 screen. You had like 4 cameras filming it. Like, it was not in your face at fucking high def, so you didn't notice it really as much. But these guys today, A, they're being filmed from 45 angles with Kevin Dunn doing his fucking shit, and B, yeah, it becomes like they're not hiding it as well as they used to. I don't think. And is that a problem with the old timers just not being there to teach them, or I don't know, man. I think when you hire that many indie guys and they're gonna keep doing their indie thing because it's kind of ingrained in there. Like on SmackDown, when Sami Zayn kicked Owens in the face, you saw him almost do it. He like instinctual was gonna do it, and then he like caught himself to not do it, which was fucking hilarious. Because you're doing it for that long, like it's just you're trained to do it at that point. It's hard to break a habit like that. Whether or not Vince and company make it an edict that you have to wear a mask at Mania, like, the optics of them doing that is smart, because they're going to have folks in pods and whatnot, separated in a very giant stadium. I have not heard if they're going to have cardboard cutouts or what on that just yet, but I feel like it's a good business move for the Hearts and Minds to enforce the mask thing, much like AEW does. But WWE being WWE, who wanted to have way more folks in that stadium, I don't know. Do I think any titles will change hands tonight? Probably not. Like, most of those things, if you're going toward a Mania and you're locked into some of these matches, then I have my doubts on that, on how that happens, or if that happens. I would certainly hope that Rhea has a match at Mania. Whether or not it's going to be against Asuka, I mean, she's on Raw, so, and she's a star, so you want to just do that, but at the same time, I'd much prefer Asuka to have her Mania moment, but yeah, she's like, of people who have done amazing during the pandemic, Asuka, top of that fucking list. She has nailed it for the past year. Has been very, very entertaining, and excellent. Yeah, the stuff with UFC doing a 15,000 indoor full capacity arena is fucked. Like, people will die from that event. Not necessarily people who go, but people who have gone and then bring it home to their parents and grandparents or whatever. People I know. Like, there will be outbreaks from that event. I can almost guarantee that. Because they're assholes. Seriously. Because the people that I see going to a UFC event during a pandemic are not the folks who are going to want to wear a mask, is my opinion. So, that thing, I guarantee you, will cause deaths. It's going to happen. Like, it's one thing to have an outdoor deal, and an indoor deal is a whole different full capacity bullshit. Florida is a fucking Mad Max wasteland. It's just, you couldn't pay me to go to Florida right now. You couldn't fucking pay me to do it. Not happening. Lashley and Lesnar is a match that I wanted to see 2 years ago, when Lashley beat Roman clean on pay-per-view, and they didn't give him a shot at Brock when he was the champ. Like, bruh, Nobody was beating Roman clean on pay-per-view in 2019. Like, and nah, man. Like, they squandered that entirely. Entirely. It's just real disappointing. I would certainly hope we see Bray Wyatt on the show tonight. I don't know that we're going to see The Fiend in particular, because Alexa said that someone will be there, but not him. Now, what that means is up in the air. But I would imagine that Bray Wyatt would be there in some capacity too, because they're not going to have a match. You can't have, well, you could, but you can't have like a legit one-on-one match in the ring with Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. It's not going to happen. Like, on the indies, sure, but not in WWE. They're not going to do a proper intergender match in WWE. It's and especially at that height and weight difference, no, they won't do that. The amount of heat they would get from so many different groups doing that kind of match is not worth the bad press. It's not worth it. Like, unless they're going to do a Sasha Banks and Reginald deal, like, that's the only way it ever happens. So, dumb. It's dumb. As far as what they're going to be doing with Andrade, that's, I mean, right now, it sounds like it's going to be a Neville situation where he just sits at home for a fucking year, and, like, I don't know how long his deal is. Like, I'm not sure how long of a deal he signed and what that's going to be like. So I'm not sure how long they have him for. And he does not have, like, the kind of lawyers that a Brock Lesnar has to get out of that deal. Like, unfortunate, but you know, sucks. Sucks. Just the fact that they continue to squander these NXT guys to go to the main roster and just they don't know what to do with them has been frustrating. Like, where is Aleister Black? Where? Nobody knows. They fired his wife, and nobody knows. So, if anything, I think that Andrade should, number one, start talking about unions. So the fastest way to get fired is to try to start a union. Number two, start third-party content channels. Start a Twitch, do a YouTube, do a OnlyFans. Start that stuff. The things that they're saying that you can't do, start doing them, right? Fail a drug test. And by that, I mean, don't submit to the test, which is what happens. Like, you can get suspended for not submitting to a test. Do it 3 times, and they release you. There's a 3-strike rule. There are ways to get fired there that don't involve just sitting your ass at home and waiting for your deal to expire. Now, how would that affect your other company potential, like going somewhere else after doing that kind of shenanigans? I can't speak to that. But there are ways, man. There are ways. But yeah, they do not want him going anywhere else. Which, they don't want to use him, but they don't want to release him. They're assholes. They're assholes. The 24/7 title at Fastlane? Sure. I can see it doing some stuff. Why not? Why not? The question is, what does R-Truth do at WrestleMania? We'll see. We'll see. The plans for Finn if he loses to Karrion Kross at TakeOver. I mean, I kind of don't want to see him going back to the main roster at this point, because they've been floundering on that stuff for a hot second. For a hot second. No one has actually failed 3 tests. Paige failed 2. Well, all right. Randy Orton has probably failed more than 3. Or, well, he had more than 3 strikes. But they introduced a rule, right? And the rule was, if you do enough good stuff, they'll get rid of one of the strikes. So it's kind of, that rule was kind of invented for Randy Orton. So, but that was years ago. So at this point, I'm not sure where they're at with that stuff. But yeah, they've had guys get close, but they kind of they've finagled their ways out of it somehow, some way. In terms of that, so nobody has actually hit a third strike, legitimately, like without kind of sneaking around it somehow, like a viper. Will I miss the network? Like, I miss the fact that they're gonna have the deal where not everything that's on there now is gonna be on Peacock until like SummerSlam. Bullshit. But, you know. They rushed it until Mania is what happened. Like, they had to have this deal for $1 billion, and they rushed it out to make sure it was gonna be here for WrestleMania, and yeah, man. Dumb. Dumb. As far as the return of Joe into the ring, he said he's not done. Whether or not you believe him, that's up to you. But he said he is not done in the in-ring capacity. And granted, he is great on commentary, so I can't fault him for finding other ways to make money and not hurt your body. But I do miss seeing him in the ring. So I could have sworn when they announced this year's location for Mania, John Cena was in that video. And I could have sworn they confirmed John Cena being at the show this year. There's been zero mention of him since then. So John Cena, for all we know, is still stuck in the Firefly Funhouse zone. We haven't seen him since. It's been a year. So, yeah. I have no idea what they're doing with John Cena. Like, I could see a scenario where WrestleMania is Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton in a Firefly Funhouse match, and they banish Randy Orton into that same zone, and he meets John Cena, and then they fight in the Funhouse zone. Like, that's kind of one of those like could happen type scenarios, but I don't know. Will Sasha turn on Bianca tonight? I don't see Sasha going heel this soon after going back to being a face. That wasn't that long ago that she turned back into a face. But I also agree that having a face versus face match, they're usually pretty boring. Somebody has to heel it up to have a good match, especially in front of a crowd. So face versus face is not that interesting for them. But I don't want to see Bianca go heel yet. I mean, she just got to the main roster, right? She just got here, and so going heel this soon seems a little weird. But I'm never gonna rule out anything because it's wrestling. Anything can happen at any time. So I guess we'll see in about 8 minutes here. In about 8 minutes. What's going on from Russia? I think that anytime you can use something from your real life, like Apollo is doing, is a good thing. Anytime you can involve your natural background, but dial it up, is usually makes for good wrestling. So, I'm hopeful that is perhaps one of the like sleeper matches that might be a great match here on this show is Big E and Apollo. I have high hopes for that match to be a knockdown, drag out fight because those guys have the capacity to definitely knock it out the park. So we'll see. We'll see. How many games do I have in total? Well, on this shelf, there's about... Oh, there goes that. Whoops. Whoops-a-doodle. On this shelf, there's about 200 something, 250, almost 300 there on that shelf. I've got probably another, I don't know, like 50 to 100 in boxes over here and under the bed. That's just games that are in boxes. When it comes to like Steam and itch.io and Origin and Epic Game Store and Amazon Game, like 3,000. I don't know. A lot of fucking games. Not including like, Xbox Live arcade games and PS3 only on digital, Vita digital. Like, when you get into digital, a lot of shit there. A lot of shit. And I'm getting DoorDash things here saying, hey, use DoorDash. Fuck off, DoorDash. I'm in a goddamn live stream. I didn't order any food tonight. Fuck, man. I think the Bad Bunny thing is fine. Again, it's getting more eyeballs on the product that you wouldn't have otherwise. So I have no problem with what he's doing with that. I think that, it's if you can get people who don't usually watch the show to watch the show and to buy the merch, then yeah, man. Sure. They wanted to have in 2014, they wanted to have Bieber in a match with Cena and the Big Show versus the Wyatts. It didn't work out, but imagine the eyeballs that would bring to that year's SummerSlam. Didn't happen though. Didn't happen. A match that I thought was gonna suck, but ended up being awesome. My answer for this match comes to mind immediately. The match that nobody thought would be amazing, and that is We LC. Go back and watch We LC. That match is stellar. Absolutely. Like, Hornswoggle, Torito, 3MB. That match is great. And, like, that was on a pre-show. Everyone's like, man, that sounds stupid as hell. We LC. Those dudes fucking amazing. Nailed it. Just great match. Go watch We LC. It's on YouTube for free. Go watch it. It's great. But yeah, nobody thought that was going to be any good at all. And those dudes just fucking said, you know what? Fuck you. We're doing this. It's great. I will forever stan We LC. Forever. Is Apollo's new gimmick racist? No. If he's legitimately of that lineage, then, and he legitimately has heard his parents with that accent his whole life, then no. Like, it's if you're using your own personal history for a wrestling angle, face or heel, that's your own personal history, right? So I don't know. That's just me. Like, just because they're using it as the evil foreign guy trope, and I'm like, but he's legitimately like that. It's a thing, man. Like, it's a fine line for sure, but I don't think he's being racist with it. But hey, Fastlane starts in about the pre-show in about 3 minutes here. So this live stream is almost done. We're almost out of here talking the wrestling before the Fastlane. Just a boot. Dunzo. I mean, of course he's faking the accent. But at the same time, you know that if his parents are legit from there, then he's heard that his whole life, and it's not hard to play it up a little bit, right? Now, as far as Kofi, who was, he was from Africa, legit. So that whole thing was definitely a very fake accent from him. So, different times though. Different times. You was just faking. So yeah. I mean, if you're paying the $10 for Peacock, that means you're not getting any ads there. So if you're paying the $5, that means you get the ads. And again, we don't know. Will the ads play during it live? I'm going to find out very, very shortly here. Daniel Bryan, I just don't see him winning. Will Kane come back? Like, here and there. I mean, he's still the mayor, but here and there. All right, I'm going to hit this thing now and say do-do-do-do-do-do. Fastlane, do-do-do-do-do-do. And it'll say, please wait. Hit mute on that. Do that. Dude, I am not streaming this video pay-per-view for free. Are you? This channel will get shut down. I will get sued. Not happening. Are you out of your mind? That is not going to happen. Like, people, I've been doing this for 9 years on this channel. I'm not getting shut down for Fastlane of all goddamn shows. Are you kidding me? When this thing starts, this stream is over. I'm gonna hit stop, and that's gonna be it. Is AEW gonna push Christian? I would certainly think so. Like, I would certainly imagine that that'd be the case. But whether or not it's gonna be a main event style thing, that's you know, a whole different thing there. But he's aiming for Omega, so I guess we'll see. Let me check on the that's not starting yet. It's saying shortly, and my clock's saying 6 o'clock. So, all right. If the title match is going to be on the pre-show for Riddle, then that's definitely not going to change hands there. All right. So, is the pre-show on the kickoff on? Is it on? Let's find out here. Let's find out. Right now it's a commercial, because this hasn't started yet. So, I'm assuming it's already going on. Yeah, Then, Now, Forever. And it's live there. But it's not live here. The first fail of Peacock. The first fail of Peacock, because it's not going. There's no Fastlane. Alright, so the network will play the fucking pre-show. Peacock's not going to have the fucking pre-show? Okay, well, that's starting. Go watch that. I'm a tax lug. See you next time. Right here. More video. Oh, there it goes. Just a little late. There it goes. All right, it works. I'll see you guys. Peace out. Later.